Barber Shop Podcast, episode number 53. And if I would have told you a year ago that there's 54 weeks in a year, you wouldn't believe me. But
nope.
We had a couple missing numbers, and we had a couple...
You're not supposed to tell them that. That's supposed to be top secret.
Yeah, we can't get into it because there's certain episodes that are in the black file, as they say.
Yeah.
Ryan Cannon, I know we're a few minutes late tonight, 43 to be exact, but all things considered, congratulations.
Thank you. I'm sure as everybody noticed, everything looks a little bit different. This is, this is a new setup. We completely gutted everything. Yeah, and we've got new expanded, more conducive playing area. You've got your own little room back there where you can do your evil scientist stuff, which we know how much you love. Yeah,
and you said we've got some sound. The sound is going to be the best tonight out of any show.
Definitely.
Okay, and we're really looking forward to it because in the studio tonight we've got a bunch of guys. And normally when you see them, they're going to, rock your world with all the senses. But they're bringing in the intimate show tonight and a band that can play kitchen party style but do it with the same kind of power and passion. Is all right in my books. And we've got Sound as People in here tonight. And I want to introduce you to the guys in the band. We're going to start off with Andrew Hines, the pretty boy in the band. And I mean, it's like, my goodness, Ryan, just keep the camera on him all night. And not to say that these guys aren't beautiful, but I mean, this is the first person in here who's prettier than me, I would have to say. And
I believe it. Yeah, definitely prettier than me.
And the guitar player Rob Kemp, who's does the grinding, got a hold of me, let me become aware of this band and set it up. Appreciate his work on behalf of the band and introduced me to. The other guys on bass, we've got Jay Campagnaro and Rob Crate on drums. These guys, right from the get-go, had their shit together. They knew how to work the mic, how to set up their stuff. And on the little bit of jamming we did for soundcheck, I got to say, you guys are sounding really good tonight. Looking forward to a good show. So tell me about you guys. Before we get into how you came together as Sound as People and how that entity came, how did you each get introduced to music?
All right, yeah, well, basically for me, I was like 14 years old, I think, 14, 15. I kind of started playing the guitar. My brother brought home an old Court guitar that was just absolutely like not the best guitar ever, but
Court changed a lot of lives.
And it changed my life. So I started off like a lot of people my age at the time were starting off and just like learning Blink-182 covers. I think I learned half of the Enema, the State album to start my
in the first week.
My music. I mean,
it's unfortunate.
Now it's like guys that don't play the guitar like sit down and they're like, I can play that album. Which, I mean, I love that stuff, the simplicity in it, and I think that actually in a way does influence me today, and that simple does work. Certainly we don't write music exactly like that, but that was where I started. I got introduced when I was 14 to kind of seeing, just in high school, we had some great cover bands and some great original bands just playing, and I'm like, whoa. I thought music was all about playing the recorder in grade 8 music class, and I really didn't like it, but that was when it became real to me. Got introduced to a lot of cool bands that I never even knew, which, I mean, you guys would have laughed at me if I said I didn't know who Led Zeppelin was when I was 14 years old, but I didn't. And so I came a long way since then, and kind of just learning what's out there. And obviously these guys, just what they've taught me too. It's been awesome.
Awesome is the word. And Rob, you seem like someone who's got a real passion for music. It's been part of your life for a long time.
Yeah, a long time. Yeah, kind of like Andrew, I kind of started I had a friend that played drums, and probably my first best friend when we moved to Georgetown for my birthday. I always remember he bought me Women and Children First. And I'm going to date myself here, I used to have my mom and dad gave me their old, wooden stereo turntable thing in the bedroom. And I remember I used to get electrocuted every time I put that record on. But, the first time I heard Eddie was like, oh my God, I have to play guitar. And so I kind of started there, and I kind of did the hard rock thing for a long time. And then, kind of you get new friends, and our new drummer kind of introduced me to the Chili Peppers and Jane's Addiction. And then I got into a band, Brass Bikini, where we all had crazy influences. The drummer was, awesome Canadian producer now, actually, Matt DiMatteo. He was into Zappa. And our keyboard player was into completely off-the-wall stuff like Tom Waits, and our bass player was a hip-hop guy, and our singer was like a Janis Joplin kind of Kate Bush fan. And
you were making original music at this point?
Yeah, and it was just like, it was so cool. Kind of grew up in Georgetown, which was a good, kind of small-knit town, but I joined this band in Toronto, and at the same time I'm getting introduced to all this new music, and I'm meeting all these people of like completely different backgrounds and just all the culture and everything. It was overwhelming, but it was such a blast. And then I kind of got out of it for a while, and I was living in California just for half a year, and just the music that year was amazing. I came back in 6 months with like a stack of CDs like this, and first thing I did when I got home was I bought a Mesa Boogie amp, and I said, that's it, I'm getting back into guitar, and played in a band called the 13th. It was more of a goth rock project, and then played in Top Dead Center, who you guys had on for a while, and then just kind of through all the moving around, excuse me, I met Andrew online and loved his vocals. I'm a huge Incubus fan now, and
you've been dating ever since.
We've
been dating ever since. So yeah,
we started dating over Incubus.
Yeah, it was pretty much the Incubus connection.
Yeah, and I was digging through a bunch of. We did quite a gut in the studio here, and I chucked a lot of CDs, because it's like, am I going to listen to this? It was really tough because the albums I'll just hang on to because they're albums. Yeah. The CDs don't have that emotional connection, and I came across a couple of Incubus and their first album and the second one, and it was like, wow, I'm going to hang on to this because it was, they were a really influential band at that period of time.
Yeah,
right?
I still love them today.
Even that great. Last album, which I mean is probably furthest from what I love about Incubus. It's still awesome. But yeah, definitely you go back to like A Crow After the Murder and obviously like Make Yourself. Those CDs are just unbelievable.
And that was a common ground for you guys.
Yeah.
As far as
totally
going forward. Yeah. All right. I know you could talk all night.
Yeah, I know. I always talk. All my friends will tell me, "Oh God, Rob never shuts up." So
yeah, it's funny. Even people who aren't his friends say that.
Yeah.
Like the guys in the band or whatever, but
whatever.
How about you, Jake? What was your journey into the musical world, become a musician?
Mine was pretty interesting, actually. I grew up in a very music-filled household. My dad was he played since he was 16 years old in a couple bands, Triple Whipple being one of them, and he always played bass. And this bass here, I don't know if you can see it right here. This has been sitting on my wall ever since the whole time of my life, right?
Netto.
Yeah, and I've always just been, I always looked at it, and, one day I was playing Guitar Hero, and I remember my dad came downstairs, and he was giving me shit because I was just inside playing all day, and he's like, man, if you would just spend half the time you did playing this stupid video game on bass or a real instrument or whatever you want, he's like, yeah, you'd be phenomenal in no time. So, you know what, I actually took that to heart, and I, the very next day I picked it up, and first thing I learned, I guess, was the main riff to Smoke on the Water.
Cool.
Pretty much like every other guitar player.
Yeah.
And yeah, just from there, I got into the Blink-182 albums. I was into Fall Out Boy, a lot of those bands. I'm the youngest one in the band, so I can't really relate to.
Well, it's interesting. Did you start listening to different things once you started playing, or did you start hearing different ththings, or seek out different things? Or
Yeah, totally. I really just got into music as a whole when I started playing bass, and you just listen to different parts of the songs. You listen to songs more for the bass of the songs than just what the main hook is and what they're actually singing about and stuff like that. And yeah, from there I went to my first band, which was Coast, and we were a half original, half cover. We just played a few shows here and there, just a whole bunch of kids, and from there, that band kind of just kept morphing, and we got new members, and different people left, new people came, and and pretty much the whole time we tried to stick to just playing originals, which I truly loved, because I was never I don't have that experience of being in a cover band whatsoever. So, and that's what I truly love, though. I'm not a fan of covers. I don't like doing covers. I like writing my own stuff, and just having fun with that. So then, I guess these guys found me.
they found you. It wasn't by accident, I'm sure. It was at very least
Providence.
destiny. And Rob Crate is sitting on a crate tonight. These guys, in case you've never seen them, they're usually like full on amps, boards, and pedals, and kick-ass kits, swinging around in circles, upside down, light shows, smoke, fire, bombs. But they've got chops. And
So come out to our next show.
Yeah.
Rob usually plays naked.
But they understand the vibe here, and it's like a lot of times if we go electric, we've got a few amps plugged in. It tends to shut down the mics, and the performances that are done acoustically are ones that really shine. So, why don't you tell me about your sordid story about how music grabbed you by the throat and dragged you in the bushes?
Sure. Sounds good. Not the first time I've been dragged in the bushes either, but I guess my first introduction to music was probably I had my best friend when I was very young was a diehard music fan, and it was from his parents, and he was into a lot of really, really old stuff. The first tape I ever got was from him, and it was the Who's Greatest Hits. And it got me actually playing guitar first. I played guitar before I played drums, and I was probably only 11, 12, and I never would have thought of playing drums because I thought Keith Moon was absolutely insane. And
he is the bomb.
Yeah, absolutely, right?
He's playing melody lines all day long.
Wow, and just like as a person in general, right? Not someone you necessarily would look up to as a role model, we'll say, right? But it's funny, Rob, that you mentioned Van Halen, because the first time that I heard Van Halen, it was Hot for Teacher, and Alex Van Halen blew me away on the drum kit, right? And not that Keith Moon doesn't, because he's a wicked drummer too, right? But Alex was the first guy that made me go, wow, if I could do that one day, right? And then I found out that he was self-taught, which blew me away even more, right? So I begged and begged and begged, and I finally got a drum kit when I was I think I was 15, and never looked back. Although I'm sure my parents hated it a lot of the time.
But you sound like someone who was voracious at that age, and who would play all the time.
Yeah, I mean, well, when I could, right? I mean, you'd have school and stuff too, right? But just about every day after school, you're down there for an hour or two, and you're banging away and trying to learn a lot of different things. And like Jake said too, right? It when you start really exploring an instrument, you start exploring types of music that you never would before, right?
Right.
And you start getting into the different genres and the jazz and the soul and stuff like that, where guys can really play a kit, right?
And I find that drummers are kind of like goalies. Once you're known as being a good drummer, you'll get the call. You'll always have a gig because someone's always looking for a goalie and someone's always looking for a drummer.
Yeah.
So you got to play. People would say, "Could you play this stuff?" And you're like, "Sure."
And it's such a versatile instrument too, right? I mean, it's something that you always want to be improving on, much like the rest of the instruments that we all play. But I feel like drums is just, personally, it's so, there's so much to learn all the time that you can never really be an expert, and that's what drives me to keep playing, right?
Right on.
So, yeah.
Rob's a classic guy that says that he's not good at something when he's actually awesome. So he's actually very good at the guitar too. He's like, you guys are so much better. You make me look bad. Yeah, he rips something out. We're like, oh
yeah,
I hate that.
As long as it only has 3 chords and 2 of them are G and G. But yeah, whatever. Anyways, and quick shout out to my daughter Stella and my wife Kristen, Stella, I know you should be in bed, but thanks so much for watching. I love you, girls.
And staying up. I'm sorry, Mom, that the show got pushed back, but it's amazing it happened. It's kind of like those old rocket ships they'd send to the moon, that had like transistors and Scotch tape, and they would do that shit, right?
Yeah,
it's like we do this shit here, with, with what we have, and. So
and we appreciate it.
Yeah, no,
Thanks for having
and great to always meet a new patch of friends every time we come in and do a show. So tell me about how the band came together. Did it exist in certain forms, or is this the original?
This actually isn't the original form at all. The only 2 original members are me and Rob Crate here.
And are the sounds the similar, or that's also morphed with meeting everyone?
It's no, it's morphed for sure.
It's
for
morphed.
Sure, it's morphed.
Kemp hugely changed things, and in all fairness, like what we were doing before, I mean, I came in literally it was like Craig gave me a call. Oh, we got something going on here. We think we want to. I don't know if I should tell the story, but we think we want to replace our story.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah, we have a singer but we want you to come
just to check it out.
Just check it out. Just be
come
there.
to a practice.
Yeah, so there's
Let us know what you
5
think.
guys there. None of them really know how committed they are to doing any of this stuff, and so we go to the first practice, and then we kind of all hang out. They're like, "Oh, Andrew, sing a song here." So I think I sang like something Neil Young. They're like, "Okay, he can sing," and they just move on with writing some songs. So we're just like kind of jamming out, and we're kind of coming up with some tunes. Next week, who showed up? Me and you and Jason. So we went from 5 to 3, and then we're like, "Oh wow!" So we had no bass player for like 2 years or a year and a half.
Yeah. Somewhere around there. At least a year.
So we kind of puttered around, and we didn't have a bass player. We didn't really move forward. We still kept meeting though, and that was kind of the grind. Like, I mean, people speak of the grind in a lot of things, and for me, that was the grind. That was getting through that point of being a musician.
Because you wanted to write too.
I wanted
so
to
it's
write.
a good opportunity.
And I'd never done that, right? I mean, I was a cover musician. I was playing for years. I played in bars in London, just cover music, and we had people drunk and throwing their beers all over us and stuff, and that's fun. Like it was just like in my heart, I just wanted to write music. So we kind of get together, and me just having no confidence in myself at the time in songwriting. That was us grinding through, and Crate, you were a huge part of that. And just like basically we started writing. He was actually a far better songwriter to start, and he actually still is a better songwriter in a lot of ways. And we kind of fed off each other, and
so it's your band at the end.
It's kind of his band. I mean, I kind of came in and played with him.
I didn't think so before tonight, but I guess it is now. I guess I hold the power.
But in a lot of ways, like, I mean, we would still, like, if I'm having trouble, like, with writing lyrics for a specific song, I'll come sit down with this guy, and he'll walk me through it. And he's he's got that attitude of, we can make it happen. So, you know what, as long as, you and I were in the band together, I always felt like we would find a way to make it work. And then, so we lost our guitar player. He kind of just decided, our bass player. We got a bass player, and then he was great. He wrote some songs with us, and he just decided, no, I'm moving away. I'm not going to do this anymore. And then our guitar player's like, call me when you find a bass player. So then the search started. So Jake, I happen to know him because he's my girlfriend's brother, and he was freshly out of a band, and.
So even if he's not good, it's really hard to kick him out.
Even if he's not. But
it kind of makes things awkward.
I don't mean to.
We don't cover, and
I don't mean to hog the mic here, but Jake like literally came from a place where he was playing, very simple music. It was still great music, but doing something completely different. And I just said, Jake, we need you to do this, and literally he just turned around and he did it, and that I was incredibly impressed.
You make it sound easy. I spent weeks in my basement trying to play those songs you first sent me.
That's what I'm saying. Like this guy, like he came in that what was a challenge for him, and now he writes tasteful bass riffs that fit perfectly with our music. Like we couldn't have asked for anything better.
That was a steady diet. You fed him right off.
Yeah, I mean, I basically threw a whole bunch at him, and it was enough to make anybody just back off and say, "Screw this." But he didn't, and
joining this band, I actually I changed my bass style completely, how I play, how I write. They introduced me to slap bass. Like I always heard of it, I've never tried it, and then I joined these guys, and like 2 of their songs that we play every show had slap in it, so they were like, hey, you got to learn it. Mm-hmm. That's in it, and it's not the easiest thing to do.
It's not when you don't do that, right?
Exactly, right? I always played, like I said before, I was into like Blink-182, stuff like that. Really simple, just fun bass lines, and it was a completely different experience when I joined these guys.
And how were you poached? Or did you stalk them?
Yeah, I mean, I was. I think I was still in Top Dead Center at the time, and we had done some work, and it was just kind of, we were like at this point where. We weren't jamming a lot, and I still love those guys. Dave and Jim are great guys, and not to go off topic, but
but it's nice when you're not in a band and you don't hate it.
Yeah, they're watching right now, so I got to be nice. No, but with the addition of Mike and Ian, the rhythm section, I mean, they're sounding great. So, but we just kind of were at like honestly, almost like a relationship. We were just at kind of a different stage. And, I kind of wanted to go a certain way, and then Andrew was looking, and I was looking, and it just kind of worked out. And obviously, I'm not the youngest guy in the band, so, I was kind of worried. I'm like,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, well, I'm 90 years old, but I'm a pretty good guitar player, so let's get together and jam. And
I've got a car.
Yeah. So Andrew and I got together a few times. Yeah. We got together a few times, and we kind of hit it off really well, and then Jake came over a couple times, and the three of us kind of just jammed around and felt each other out in my basement. And
that's
not that way.
Up a little bit, but
there's anything wrong with that. But,
open relationships.
yeah, and then I think the first jam we had was probably at the Jam Zone in Burlington. And I think that's the first time, right? We jammed together. Was it there, or was it at your place?
It was at my place. In the
was it at your place?
Yeah, maybe. That was the first time I met you. You came down, right?
Yeah. So, and then we just kind of hit it off as a band, and just I think musically, even though we all have, kind of different backgrounds that we come from, which it just kind of works.
Cool.
And I think people-wise, like, we just get along good. So the writing process, like, kind of the tune that we'll spin later tonight that we just finished, it was the same thing. Just writing it, it's like Andrew's like, wow, I'd like the bass line to work a little bit more with what Rob's doing now on the cajon, and then. And, Jake's like, okay, cool. And then we just kind of work through it. And then now we hear it. And it's like, it's friggin' awesome. And Jake does a couple, like, little climbs on it. And it ended up sounding good. But it was honestly, like, it wasn't like if it was just me and Jake doing that would have ever happened. Like, it's kind of,
no,
it's just cool. Like, we kind of, it is a band. Like,
it really makes a difference. And you can tell, right, when there's a synergy and supposed to something where it was built strip by strip in a studio.
Yeah, it's been really cool.
So, what do you want to do? Do you want to play live for us first, or do you want to spin something off the CD? Your call.
Let's do a live track first.
Well, yeah, let's start with live.
Yeah, do a live track first. All right. Well, while we adjust the mics over there, why don't you tell me what you're going to play? And there's got to be a story behind the song if it's something that's...
We're starting with Kitty. Is it? Yeah? Yeah. So this is... it's spelled Kitteh. It's a song... it's got a lot of meanings behind it, actually. It started being written by Andrew while he was in... was it Jordan's room?
Yeah.
It's about my cat.
It was
okay.
About,
Yeah, pretty much.
It was about
you want to
Jake and his sister's cat.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
It's a song about
okay,
a cat.
so it's a song about inspired by a cat. We'll say.
Inspired by a cat, but it's not about a cat anymore.
It's
there
not,
you go. And the best songs aren't, but they are.
It's kind of like for me, songwriting was always one of those things. Like the literal sense of songwriting kind of scared me for a long time, and just getting so personal and so close to home. For some reason, that is something that I've had a challenge with in the past. And that song just kind of came to me because it was like this emotion of like, what can you reference when somebody is just like literally batting you all over the place? Like you just kind of, you're at their mercy, their whim, like whatever they want, they boss you around. So anyways, Jake's cat is literally like, this thing could wake you up on the other side of the house. It could be outside the house on the other side of the house, and you wake up because it meows so loud.
Nice.
It's got a bark.
Yeah, it's like
not a meow.
It's like
so
bark,
did you say
loud.
it in the Cartman voice when you say kitty?
Yeah. That's how he sings it, actually. Okay. Just wait for it.
All right.
But it evolved more into a song of not so much a cat, but being facing your fears and kind of moving on with it, right?
There you go. The genesis
On to
of
the next
songwriting,
right?
building it, making it into
That's
something.
what I get out of it.
Yeah. I mean, like, and that was my goal. Is like I wanted people to be able to take their own meaning from it, just because it started. That gave me the idea for what I would write, and then this riff just kind of popped into my head, and I played them together, and I'm like, wow, I like that. But yeah, I mean, it is exactly about that. It's about basically being able to kind of face something that's challenging you, and just, as I say, like, close your eyes and make that disappear. Like, just look for something else, move beyond it. So
right on. All right. Well, we get to hear it from the boys here at Barber Shop Podcast .com. This is Kitteh.
all right.
Look at me and it's instinctual. Tattered rags of hair unwinding. Mesmerized, you're climbing up the wall. Streaming tears for what you found. You hit the ground with your forehead. Bat us around again. Take a note for food. I'm always waiting on you. Look into my eyes. Bloodshot again tonight. close them make you disappear. Scratch away, get shut down under. Stare me down with blue-green eyes. A simple look, it takes me over. Soak around for one more pass. I hit the ground with my forehead, but I surround again and take a note for free. I'm always waiting on you. Look into my eyes, bloodshot again tonight. I close them, make you disappear. Suck around, let steps that meander turn away. Come around for one more pass. I suck around, let steps that meander turn away. Come around for one more pass. I hit the ground with my forehead, but I surround again and take a note for free. I'm not waiting on you. Look into my eyes, bloodshot again tonight. I close them, make you disappear. Hit the ground with my forehead, but I surround again and take a note for free. I'm not waiting on you. Look into my eyes, bloodshot again tonight. I close them, make you disappear.
Lovely. Music is people. Barbershoppodcast.com. Wish you guys had headphones on. It's luxurious. Sweet harmonies. Job well done. So you must have had like a fair bit of experience playing in an intimate setting before you don't always get the opportunity to go full out on a stage. So being able to play together, do you guys get the opportunity to write together spontaneously, or is it now a point where everyone gets together and works at it like hammer and thong?
Yeah, it goes in fits and starts, really. I mean, we try to get together, all four of us, as much as we can. I'm in London. These guys are in Burlington, so
you suck.
Yeah, it's a bit of a commute sometimes for all of us. They come down to my place as much as I get down there, or so we like to think, anyway. But,
it's a numbers game. Right?
Yeah, there's I mean, throughout our past, I mean, we've done all of us together. We've done three of us. We've done two of us. We've done one of us will throw a riff at the rest of them and see what we can come up with. It's anything and everything under the sun.
What's the common theme depending on what version of you is being played? If someone asks you to pigeonhole yourself and describe your music, be it a solo or be it all four of you playing, or be it acoustic or be it electric, and without taking 5 minutes, how do you describe yourself?
Yeah.
Like as in what is
sound is people, because the name itself is ambiguous. It doesn't necessarily describe the type of music.
Yeah.
So people want to know.
It's dangerous saying I only got 5 minutes, so I'll try and keep it short. No, I don't know. Rob came up with the name, actually. I mean, it's the usual thing where you toss around a bunch of names and you hit a whole bunch, and then you go to look at the domain names and you're like, damn it, it's gone, So
then you put them on spreadsheets.
Yeah, I put them on spreadsheets, and we had Google documents and all this stuff. But I don't know. I think for the band, it's always tricky, right? To kind of pigeonhole the band in a way. But I don't know. I think we're kind of like we're kind of tracking into that kind of more indie rock. It's like it's kind of like it's not like we're Incubus, but it's not like you hear them on the radio all the time. They've had, you know, a couple of big songs like Drive, but that's an acoustic song, but that's not really what the band's
but
like,
the
right?
production is luxurious. The sound is luxurious, even if it's in a stripped down form.
Yeah.
You know, there's the layers, and if you listen to whatever's popular these days, be it from like a Montford and Sons to, you know, Arcade Fire or whatever, they understand that this is what people want to hear, and this is what I hear in your music anyway. That and again, it is hard to quantify.
Yeah,
but I think that element is absolutely there. You know.
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing is right now, I mean, this is just good timing with the acoustic thing. I mean, this is kind of really spurred on by Andrew. Just in that, you know, I think all original bands, I mean, one of the challenges we have is, you know, just building a base. Like, you know, it's kind of like we know we have a good product, but it's hard to get all your friends to come out every time and support it. And some of these shows seem like good opportunities, but it's like, all you got to do is sell 50 tickets at $20 each, and you get a 20-minute set, but it's going to be awesome, you know? Yeah. And so that part's hard. So one of Andrew's things was like, you know, let's do some covers that are really popular. And, you know, like, so we did a Coldplay video, you know, we took Fix You and kind of played the acoustic version of it. And we got really good feedback from it. And we did a good job kind of on our own recording it. And we're happy with the sound. And it's just kind of spurred this whole thing on that, you know, in the winter, it's hard to get people out in November, December with Christmas. In January, everybody doesn't want to go out. February is too cold. So this whole acoustic thing has kind of stemmed from that. And I think... you know, like Andrew said a lot of times, like he'll come over with Jake or Rob, and it's just a really good setting for us to write too. Because I think any song, even in one of my last bands, the 13th, we would get together every once in a while on a Friday night and play all of our songs acoustically. Yeah. And if the song can hold its own, like stripped down like that, then you know when you add all this other stuff, it's just going to get better, you know.
And it opens up a hell of a lot of venues too, right? Where if you can play and sound like that, then a place that's a 50-seater. Now, you know, that's a place you can play. You know, put a couple dollars in.
And that's kind of the goal, right? Because this is new for us too. And
it's been about a month and a half now. We just started trying acoustic stuff. Yeah.
And I mean, to get back to sort of the question that you asked, I think.
Oh, did I go off track?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Surprise!
I want everyone's opinion, you know, because you thought about it.
And I hate to ever pigeonhole us. I don't think anyone, especially when you're in the band, it's hard to say what you sound like.
Yeah.
But I think the goal that we want to sound like, and the reason we chose the name Sound as People is not only being a double entendre, like as in, you know, we're good people trying to make it, but we embody sound, and we're trying to create something that is different.
And we work on frequencies. You know, the fact of the matter is we work on sound frequencies. It's part of us. That's why it has this effect on people, and it's bigger than just the music and the words. You know, it really is.
That's why you want to bob your head when you hear a song. Like it's just it's second nature, right? It's not
and I think that's what we want to create. Is we want to create, you know, a feeling in people. We want people to hear our music and go, wow, you know, we want it to evoke emotion. We want it to evoke something deeper than just, you know, the song on the radio.
All right, Jake. Someone says, "What kind of music do you play?" What do you say? Original
that's
stuff.
Awesome.
Like personally,
I mean, a friend of yours, someone that you don't have to really think too much about it, but someone's asking you, it's like, or a relative.
As a band?
Well, what are you doing? I'm playing a band. What's a band called? Sound as People. What kind of music do you play? What do you tell
I
them?
would lean towards alternative rock, but that's such a broad genre. Like all of us come from such different musical styles, and that's why I think this band really works. Like personally, I like punk, kind of like, you know, 2000s punk. Rob's like classic 90s. You like your 90s, you like your classic rock. So like,
I like everything there,
so he like Rob comes in with a lot of, some songs he'll come in with a classic rock beat that you just want to bob your head to, and sometimes he'll come in something with like Dave Matthews Band that's just like, it's all over the place. It's wicked. Whereas like Rob the guitar player is really technical, and he just puts that, you know, those sprinkles on the cake that make everything sound
tasty.
No, it makes the cake, right?
Actually, you should see this guy's board. It's like it's almost the size of this room. It's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
But he can
Toys
use it
are
all,
fun,
eh?
It's an addiction. Yeah, totally. Unlike Rob Ford, you know, like the crack, mine's pedals,
mine's gears.
Pedals are your crack.
Not to bring Rob Ford into this, but
I'm trying to get through an episode without it. Andrew, what do you tell people?
Well, I mean, just on like, if you wanted to, you know, put it specifically, I think Kemp, you know, he said he said, you know, indie rock. Well, I think that's ultimately our vision. Like that's what we see. I mean, in my mind, I think that we have a nice balance of technical and kind of mass appeal, which is exactly the vision that I want, that I have for our band. Is that we can remain true to what it is that makes this fun for us. Yeah. And also still really
resonate with people on a broader spectrum.
And you said layers. Like, to me, like that is music to me. Like when we can layer in, I'm always like, guys, backing vocals, we got to have something here. Yeah. Because to me, those layers, they're like the simplest thing. But when you put them in there, they just all of a sudden ignite the song. Yeah. And now the song is something completely different that you would never have experienced before. And for me, it's like an experience listening to what we come up with. Like, I'll literally listen to, like, when Kemp finishes something. And this guy's like the glue that holds the band together. Like, you know, he always is like keeping us going forward. And he'll come up with, you know, the final product when we mix a song. And then I'll just listen to it on repeat because I'm in awe that we created this. And to me, that creation element and being able to have that and being able to share that with people and actually have them resonate with it, that's everything.
Right on. So I went some more. I was so impressed with the first song. I want to get another couple doses of live music before we go to some of the stuff that you did in the studio, and we'll hear about that recording process because everyone seems to have like their own background experience recording, and that's always interesting in its own right. But you up to playing another
you want to play?
I want you to.
So I don't have to tune.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sorry?
Miss Valentine.
We're doing Miss Valentine? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear what this one's about too?
No, you know, I just it's. If you want to tell me afterwards, that's fine.
Afterwards,
tell me afterwards.
It's its own story.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try it again. 2, 3, 4.
Doors open at 8 p.m. A glass of wine. Did I hide my photographs? I can't find my keys, but I find myself wondering just where the hell you came from. And I don't think I can sleep tonight. You're peering through thin pane windows. A glass of wine and bottle of pills will make you sleep. But the only thing that comforts me is the thought of you behind closed bars. So tell me why your name is on my wall, your lipstick's on my wife's pajamas, 'cause that's not right. It'll take some time to fall asleep, hand over mouth, it's hard to believe. R.E.M. means something else tonight. You've got your bow, you've got your chain tied to me tight, tie me up again. Who's got their clothes in you, my friend? Into your heart I'll beat again. Sweet like candy to my soul, sweet you rock and sweet you roll. Lost for you, I'm so lost for you. Oh, when you come crash into me, and I come into. Back to your seat and drink, enjoy the show of soft figures and yellow light. There's much to entertain, but my mind just walked away to the imposter in my bedroom, and now I need another drink. I don't think I can accept tonight words that say everything is fine. This creaking wood floor has dialed eyes on the run. If you were locked up on the moon, it wouldn't be far enough away. So tell me why your name is on my wall, your lipstick's on my wife's pajamas, 'cause that's not right. It'll take some time to fall asleep, hand over mouth, it's hard to breathe. And REM means something else tonight. On my wall, your lipstick's on my wife's pajamas, 'cause that's not right. It'll take some time to fall asleep, hand over mouth, it's hard to breathe. And REM means something else. Tell me why your name is on my wall, your lipstick's on my wife's pajamas, 'cause that's not right. It'll take some time to fall asleep, hand over mouth. Take some time, take some time, take some time, take some time. REM means something else.
Sound is people. BarbershopPodcast.com, the place you got to go right here in Hamilton, Ontario. Boys get their ghetto pass tonight, get to come in and hang out. You know, a very evocative and yet fresh sound. And from the heart, and you can tell that there's a lot of influences working there. It's like a restaurant where you kind of discover something, and it's familiar, but it's new at the same time. So giving birth to music, is it, again, a process? Because we want to talk, we're going to spin something off your CD soon. But talk about the process of saying, okay, I have a document, I have a sound, I want to record this now. You've all got seemingly backgrounds, and understanding the engineering and kind of like the butcher process of the food chain. So talk about how you put your recordings together, your first recordings.
Do you want to start with like Redline?
Or you did the first one with
yeah.
EP, or you want to
so
EP?
Yeah, I mean we started, obviously it was Crate and I and our old bass player Brendan and Jason Rodriguez, who was the guitar player at the time. So we basically created that EP with them, and the process was kind of, every song was different. You know, if you could say like this is the one way we write music, well, I literally think that every song has been different. I mean, one commonality that I found that really seems to work is like three of us in a room. For some reason, 3 seems to be a magic number. Not that it has to be any specific 3 people, but I like that third. You know, 2 is a combo.
Business gets done. You know,
2 is a combo.
2 against 1.
Yeah.
You like it? You want to do it again? Yes, no,
that
go.
Third perspective. 4, sometimes it's like that's kind of harder to manage because then everybody's starting jamming their riffs. But I found that that's helpful. But then sometimes Great and I would just sit in his backyard with a beer or 10, and we would write a song.
Me, come on.
we would sit there and we would write a song, and we would refine. Like we had this song we're gonna play coming up. We had written it and then basically just stripped it down and rewrote the whole thing because we weren't happy with the lyrics and we weren't happy with what it said.
So how much of the song wound up getting redone? Like a complete overhaul, or
was that a complete overhaul?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had the music written, and then we sat in the backyard one day and just top to bottom lyrics.
The verses were completely rewritten.
So you were happy with the music, but the lyrics weren't fitting the syncopation.
Yeah, and it's not that they weren't really fitting. It's just they weren't saying what we thought the song should say, right? So we stripped it down and we started again, and it took us 10 beers, but we did it, right?
It took us 10 beers.
We love the song.
And I think you have to, as a songwriter, you have to be willing to do that, to say, there may be a glimmer and whatnot here, but I'm not scared to go to strip that right back down to the frame.
The thing is, I kind of had this feeling about it, and actually, like the riff started with Brendan, our old bass player. He kind of just played something on his bass, and I played this over with my guitar, and I'm like, I like that. I think this should be something. We wrote it real quick, and then we ended up playing it at a show, and I think none of us wanted to play it again. So we're like, okay, well, there was something there, so let's figure it out.
It's like that there was that movie with Tom Hanks that they played. Well, I don't know. They played a song and they played it really slow for most of the movie, but the drummer wanted it double time. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I've seen a lot of Tom Hanks movies, but I'm not.
Well, there's one movie he's in a band anyways, and the drummer keeps playing it double time, and the band gets so mad at him, and he's like, "If you guys just play it double time with me, it'll be a great song." And then the song's a hit, and they all become millionaires.
The Wonders.
Oh yeah,
but that's I don't remember what it's called.
I remember it now. It was
Everyone
the
would
Wonders, and it was
that thing you do. That's
That
what
Thing
it was.
You Do.
That
Oh
Thing
yeah,
You
that's
Do.
the. I was thinking, is that the one?
That was a great movie. It was supposed to be like a spoof on the Beatles,
Yeah,
the Monkees
Beatles
kind
era,
of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So that was that's kind of what that song was like. I mean, musically it was perfect, but lyrically it just
and you knew it though, and that's good because it's like if you're going to put something out there, it's like you want to give it your best effort, especially if you've got something that musically you think is really strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then there are other times where like something will come from a riff that one of us wrote. We'll bring it in, like "Live Before We Die," which I think you might be playing next. That was one that I literally wrote that riff when I was like 16,
You were carrying
17.
it around in your pocket all these years.
Yeah, I've just been carrying it around, and I literally had in my mind Lenny Kravitz playing the guitar when I wrote it, and I don't know why, but I liked some of Lenny Kravitz's style with guitar, with some of the stuff he came out with, and I don't know why, but I felt like that kind of was what he might come up with. And then I showed it to the band, and that's the beautiful thing about getting around, guys that have completely different perspective, because it doesn't end up sounding anything like what you thought it would originally. And in that song, in fact, Craig ended up writing the chorus to it, just right there on the spot. And we're just playing the riff, and he's just, these are the words, and we continually get feedback. That's one of our best songs.
And when the rest of the band knows that whatever you say is going to be like gobbled up and accepted, and you don't have to face the whole politics of I don't know if I like that, because the guy buddy's feelings are getting hurt, right? His ego's in the way. It sounds like you guys are like well past that.
We do. I mean, every band
is gonna have that.
Yeah.
But I think no matter what we're doing, what we're writing, one of us will come up with something that just clicks, and we all go, that's it, right? And it's not any one of us, but every song.
But it happens. Everyone knows.
Yeah,
it's a mastermind,
and that's why I think we work well together, right?
Yeah, totally.
Someone always comes up with something that everyone just goes, "Yep,
all right,
that's where we're going."
Well, I think that now that we've alluded to it, we want to play "Live Before We Die." Sure. Does anyone have any little gems that they remember from this session that they want to lay on us, or do you want to just give it to the people?
Let's just give it to
them, yeah.
All right, we're gonna play "Live Before We Die," and you get to hear it here at barbershoppodcast.com. So does people. If you see them, and you will see them, come and see this band. Awesome experience, guys. Thanks for being here. We're gonna come back after this, and we're gonna get some more live music, a couple more tracks off the CD, and a few more stories. But right now, you get a little bit of something called "Live Before We Die." barbershoppodcast.com.
The gods on fire, so let's live before
BarbershopPodcast.com. Music is People here tonight. This is from their is it CD?
EP. Purpose, yeah.
You know, we can call it an album. We can call it a release. We can call it a document of musicality. Yeah. Either way, it's a piece of it. Can people get a hold of this yet?
iTunes.com/soundaspeople. You can buy it right there.
All right, and we're going to throw up their website, so visit it and check it out. Download a track or two. The recording sounds really good. How did the process go? Was it painful or was it?
It was fun. You know what? That to me, like I said, the creation process is my favorite part. So yeah, we went in Hive Studios, which is a couple blocks from here. Actually,
yeah, me and Rob Kemp weren't on the album itself, but the band I was in prior to that, actually, we recorded at Hive Studios as well. Yeah, a 4-song EP, and yeah, that's how Andrew heard of it. I just was like, hey, I just finished recording with these guys in Hamilton. You should check them out. They're pretty good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so yeah, I was happy with their work, and this EP sounds great too.
Yeah, those guys are great over there, and. And obviously they've got all kinds of accreditations or however.
Yeah, and I don't have a bad thing to say about everything I hear. Sounds so fucking good, from Hive and from Porcelain, from Grand and from Catherine North, from everything. It's like I'm sure that even the guys in their basement are doing some stuff. The creativity.
The thing is and that's where we started there because we needed them at that time. We needed their influence because they just knew so much more than we did. Luckily now we have Kemp and he basically takes on the job of them. But that process there was literally we came in one weekend, we did the drums, we came in the following weekend, we did bass and guitars, the following weekend vocals, the following weekend
did you find it hard to keep it light, because you were in with a working attitude where it's like I want to get this shit done, but there's
we drank a lot of beers.
Yeah, because it sounds good. It doesn't sound. It sounds like it's alive. It does because recordings are like that. People don't realize that. The magical ones. There's always a story where buddy had the studio and it was 2:30 in the morning and they came in and it was just there was something that made the song, even though you played it 1,000 times. Yeah. Well, when you had it.
And it's funny too because the one track that we recorded there called "I Can See," and we're not doing that one tonight, but you can check it out on the EP or on our website or on YouTube. When we got there, I started with the drums, right? And then when we got into the bass, the guys said, "You know what? That doesn't work. Something's not working." For some reason, the drums and the bass, they're not meshing. It doesn't sound like it should sound. You guys can do better than this. And I said, "All right, well, I'll get back on the drum kit then." And we played bass and drums together while we tried to record it, and the entire song changed in the studio. And now we're all happy with it. It was
instantly.
Awesome. Yeah, and it was just because those guys, they were like Michael Brown, awesome, and he's a drummer too, which helps,
and then that's the element of production, right?
Yeah, and he heard it and he went, "Nope, you got something here, but it's not right. Do it again, and let's fix it right here, right now, because we're not going to put it in something permanent until it's right?" Gotcha. And we made it something that we loved, and it was thanks to them, right? They changed it for us.
Well, they did a fantastic job. I want to play another cut off the CD, the EP. What one do you want to hear?
We'll do Purpose next.
Purpose. Let's do Purpose next because it sounds incredibly purposeful. And our purpose here is to bring rock and roll music in general to all of you, and to see the kind of talent we have here in the Golden Horseshoe. And I'd say mostly Hamilton, but as I said, the boys, you've earned your ghetto pass. Kick-ass band. You're friends of the show forever now. You've got this badge, and again, pleasure to meet you. Enjoy here at home. This is Music as People. Sound
as People. We won't hold it against you.
We won't hold it against me.
No, we won't.
Music as People. I'm addled. It goes with the territory. It's filling up as we speak. But here at BarbershopPodcast.com, sound is people, purpose.
I'm attempting to cool the flames, but it's burning from inside. Always
barbershoppodcast.com. Sound is people in the studio tonight, kicking ass. Guys, you know, you hear so many influences, and yet something that's so refreshing. You know, do you find that there's still new music you're listening to, or now are you so involved in what you're writing, what you're doing, you don't have time, or you just mixed in the community so you can't help but get influenced by what's happening today?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that, but just with each other, because we have such different musical taste. Like Andrew got me into Manchester Orchestra. I'm like, I've never heard of the guy, you know, heard of the band, and you know, he showed me this tune and I loved it, downloaded the album, and you know, you just inevitably you're gonna get some of those little influences in your writing because it's something brand new and exciting. And it's pretty hilarious, actually, because there's one song, I think it's April Fool, and my 4-year-old was, like, obsessed with the song. He put it in the car, and he went, like, ape. And it was just kind of cool, because it was, like, that was something I never, ever
I think that's a
heard.
litmus test, you know, and the little ones like it. You know,
Yeah.
there's something magical about it.
Oh, yeah, he can pretty much sing half the tune, and the lyrics aren't straightforward either. And so I mean, for me, it's been cool that way, because, you know, Andrew has been pretty good that way. Like, he'd be like, oh, check this out. I really like this band, or this is what I would really like to have a song kind of like this. And, you know, I'll listen to it, and I'll be like, yeah, that's really cool. And, you know,
I think we can all say we've definitely been influenced by Rob to listen to some Minus the Bear.
Yeah, I've been a little obsessed for the last.
Yeah,
Mine
exactly.
is the bear.
That's all
I
I've
think
heard.
he's the
for
biggest groupie of the band.
Yeah, probably.
That's all I heard for the
But,
past
Killer
couple
guitar
months.
player, killer songs, killer hooks.
Oh, don't get him started.
And a band like that, where do you become aware of them?
You know what's weird is I used to get Guitar World magazine all the time, and I don't get it anymore because it's just all metalheads all the time. It's either like it's like
Dimebag Darrell.
yeah, it's the same stuff all the time, or it's the new metal stuff, and there's just never anything new. But I had picked up a magazine once, and it was like crazy because they had this thing. It was called Young Tapping Lads or something like that. So you know, finger tapping had kind of got out of style, and so I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And it was a tiny, tiny little box. And it had these guitar players. So I go check on the, you know, just looking them up on MySpace or whatever. I'm like, nah. And I hit Minus the Bear, and I like instantly was like, what on earth? And they're more of like a clean, jangly kind of sound, but he like taps crazy, taps chords and stuff, and like instantly I was hooked.
Because I'm curious, because it's part of being in the band is you have to market yourself all the time, and you have to be aware of like how am I going to be heard and how am I going to be seen? And that's one of the reasons, you know, you're here today. But it's very interesting to me to see, you know, how did this band get discovered? How did I become a center of influence for this band? Because, you know, that's a flyer for a lot of people to put your face in your name and say, okay, I want to put $30 or $50 or $100 and promote myself in the hopes that somebody's going to click because they like the sound of the name of my band or the picture that I'm using.
Yeah.
What sort of things have you guys done to promote the band that you found effective?
You want to take that one? Andrew's pretty good at leading the charge on that stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, the promotion side of things, I think, you know, a lot of business has changed from like the 1950s, and a lot of bands and you know, other businesses still market themselves like we're back in the day. And today, there's very clear evidence. I mean, so many bands are going independent. So many bands are promoting themselves online. And it's just the sheer leverage that you can get when you get your music in front of an audience online, where people are constantly passing by, constantly searching, and can see your music. So we basically kind of rewrote our plan a few months ago, and we realized that we had all this music that we had written that literally no one could hear because it was just in our heads and it happened in our jam space, but nobody was hearing it. And, you know, we'd go to some shows and we'd get it in front of 20, 30, you know, 50 people. One time I think we played in front of a few hundred. You know, they were kind of a country crowd, so they maybe weren't our target audience. So now our approach is really, you know, starting with covers, music that we relate to, and putting them up on YouTube, getting them in front of people, you know, ranking it in the search engine and getting people in that way. And, you know, our cover of Coldplay's Fix You was our first litmus test at that. And, you know, we did that 2 months ago. I think we're over 2,000 views now. We are getting found in the search engine, and that's kind of like, that's the new thing. And I realized that's what we want to do, because, you know, I love creating, I love getting it up there, and then literally even when we're sleeping, people can still find us, people can still be affected by our music. And to me, it's when somebody tells me that what I did you know, lifted their day, made them cry or something like that. And I've literally had people tell me that, people from different countries, nonetheless. So,
and I really think, you know, again, making that food equation, if you do a signature dish and do it in your way, it's a win-win situation. And to throw a song like that up to get people to look at a little bit further at what you guys do and what you sound like why not do it? Like, what kind of stupid pride is in your way to refuse to do that?
That's how we see it too, right? And if that's what people are wanting to see, at least it gives them an avenue to find us, so they can see what we really do.
Yeah,
right? And it seems. I mean, we got a. Where was the guy from a couple weeks ago? Poland or
no, Philippines? That's what I was just gonna say.
Philippines. Yeah, we got a guy saying you got a new fan in Philippines.
Yeah, because of the Fix You cover, right? And it's funny because I'm like Jake.
It just takes one guy, right?
Yeah, I think we had a guy from Italy as well.
Yeah, like Jake and I are more hardcore, right? Like originals, and Andrew's like, okay, you know, I'm okay, whatever covers. And I remember seeing the post on Facebook, like, you have a new fan because of your Fix You cover. I love your stuff, and I was like, son of a bitch, Andrew was right, you know. And I'm like, I caved and we did it, but you know, I was happy with the final product. But it was one of those things where Andrew was like, no, we have to do this, and you know, just as guys were like, yeah, okay, let's do it. And then you see the Facebook post, I'm like, okay, I guess.
I think
that's pretty cool.
And you have to face the realities. You know, it's like this is the world, the digital world. This is my budget. These are my abilities. This is what people, you know, music is a very personal thing, and people get very defensive and judgmental about it. And to kind of open that door and being willing, you know, and I've always never been afraid. I've loved doing covers. You know, I would never torture myself to learn every note and sing it pitch perfect. Right. You know, so what's the point? At that point, it's an homage, and you're having fun. Yeah. And if it actually puts a buck in your pocket or makes someone aware of you, that's, again, it's win-win.
That's the part. You can hook them in. I mean, how many people like a song the first time they hear it? It does happen, but for me, usually it takes a couple of listens. So if it's our new music and we're just throwing our new music at them, well, first off, they're not searching for it. So online, how do you get in front of them? Well, the best way is to put a cover in front of them. That's the lure. It's like fishing. That's the lure. Hey, by the way, check out our next one or subscribe to our channel, and then we can build our base that way. And
I think me and Rob are a little old school, as in we like to play shows more. I like to get up on stage. I like to jam it out, and you know, that's great. But yeah, we really kind of just sat down and we're like, let's write out what we need to do with this band, what we want to do with this band, what are our goals, and like the way looking at it, like, I guess we all come from business background, and we almost run it like a business, I would say, not to make money, but like
to make sense,
right?
You got busy lives, right? You got shit to do, so when you're together, it's got to be efficient and effective. And there's a lot of bitching goes on when somebody's floating, right? So when you got four people all pulling on the same rope, shit happens, right?
Well, that's what we're hoping, right? And and that's kind of how it happened, right? We were playing a show sometimes every week, most of the time every other week, and we barely have time to even practice the set, let alone write new music. And we were going,
we want to write.
Why are we doing this for the same 30 people every time, right? Like, we're doing it because we want to make a difference in music.
And you have fun because, you touched on it, but playing live, you know, it's like every step along the way, I imagine all of you get that rush.
You can't stop playing live.
That's the best feeling when playing live.
I think the best live moment for us, because we've only been playing since January live, and I think it was in August was our last show in Toronto. We played the Horseshoe, and you know, we had a few people come out. Like, I had some close friends and my cousin, and you know, this and that. But there was a band promoting like a CD release on the Bookman New Music Night, so they had quite a few people there. And we finished our first song, and there was like a band on from New York before us. Same amount of people, and they were pretty cool. And we finished our opening song, and it was like, there was a noticeable, like, loud appreciation for what we just played, and I was like, you know, I get goosebumps talking about it, because I'm like, that is fucking cool. Like, that's kind of what you do it for. But to Andrew's point, you want to go out there and walk into the bar and have like 150 or 3,000 people there for you. But that was a good test for the band. I'm like, that is fucking cool. We just
that felt good,
played after a New York band, and we got a noticeably nice applause, and that, like, to me, that's what it's all about. I'm like, that is really
and
cool.
I prefer that those 10 people there applauding and actually enjoying our music and going, wow, these guys are like good, I like to listen to this stuff, then 3,000 people, 300 people just sitting there listening to it because they're there, right?
because you can question your sanity at some point because
Yeah.
you're drinking the
yeah.
Kool-Aid all day long. You're like, you know, and you're like, am I fucked? You know, do people like this?
Yeah.
Is this music? Is this good?
We opened for Tim Hicks in a show. Where was that? Walton
Raceway, yeah.
Which is a great
For the big
opportunity. We're
motocross
all
event every summer.
we were all flipping out because we're just like, wow, this is awesome. Like, what an opportunity. We played on a big stage. It was really cool. It's just at the end of the day, like, we had like this big line of people out in front of the stage, and we're like, holy crap, they're out here to see us. But what we realized is they were out there to hold their spot for the Tim Hicks concert.
That's basically what it was, right?
I have literally never in my life played in front of somebody that stared at me like this.
Yeah, you're just like,
Like one guy at one point, I heard him yell, "Play some country."
We did play some.
We did, but not enough.
Yeah.
But not enough.
No, but still, I think like Jake and I at the end, like, you know, you're kind of like, whatever. Like, we played a gig, but you know, Jake and I were walking up to the back to get a drink or whatever, and there was a couple there just kind of sitting in the grass, and they were like, "Hey, man, like, we've been back here, but what you guys did, I was really into it. It was really cool." And you're like, "Fuck!" So I'm like, "Okay, it was totally worth coming here." Just
Plus,
to hear
it's a good way to pick up girls if you tell them you open for Tim Hicks.
It works. It's all shared the stage.
No way. Yeah.
In all fairness,
shared the stage.
We did. Yeah.
And Tim's actually an awesome guy.
Yeah, he was a great guy.
He was in his trailer before, and it was great.
It's all about that person. That person's out there times millions, and it's just about getting in front of them, and that's the number one thing. I think we all kind of knew, like, we all were pretty confident that what we could do was something that people would want to hear. We got a lot of good feedback, and we just didn't feel like we were getting in front of enough people, and that's something that's in the process of changing right now. So you know, I love this podcast. I'm really happy that we're here, because this is something that lives forever, right? You know, on YouTube, it's there forever, and what power is that, right?
It's cool.
I love
it's cool, and it's worldwide. It'll go up, and then someone, like, because we've got our fans in Singapore, and we got our fans, and where are our fans? What corners of the world are our fans?
We have somebody has downloaded the podcast from China. From Singapore. I think there was an India in there. I like to think that there's people searching it out. It could be just going through the portals, the tubes of the internet, but it's so cool because you can't do that otherwise. You can't. You can't reach a worldwide audience without it.
I mean, even a big radio station back, and this is only going to go 50, 75, 80 miles. And it's like, so
totally cool.
And I went up and we talked to a bunch of students at Mohawk College, and I came in and I said, and half of them are asleep. It's like 8:30 in the morning. And I'm like, where are you going to work? Huh? It's like, where are you going to work? You're going to do 3 years in here. Well, I'm going to do some editing. Really, where? I was like, well, it's like, where are you going to work? Is that going to work for you? It's like, you know what? Don't expect that job to be out there, that big, shiny, wonderful job, because you're going to have to dig your own shit. But guess what? You're lucky, because the world just changed, and you can have your own.
You can market yourself.
You can build your own thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's sure you got a shitty little thing in your basement, but it's a shitty little thing in your basement.
Well, and the big thing for me too is I always remember, and I think everyone has this, especially every musician has that band that they found. Yeah. Right? That band that they found, I liked them before they were big. I told people about them.
People love to discover shit.
And and you know what? It could be that that guy in Singapore for Sound as People, right? Which is why we're trying to get more out in the digital world.
And we're going to do that. I don't know. Should we play one more off the CD and then finish with a live tune, or you want to go live and then CD?
You want to go live and play Redline, or you want to play Redline?
Let's do live and then the CD, unless Jake, you oppose.
I was going to say CD.
Yeah, let's go.
Why don't we finish live?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. We'll go to the CD because it's a big, wonderful sounding CD. It's available on iTunes, and it's good that you hear the work you do, because the studio has its own magic. That's why they call it. It's
actually,
this is actually credits to Kemp here. This is actually just freshly recorded. What's going to be our acoustic unplugged?
And you've been playing up. This is the first time these guys have heard this complete.
Yeah,
I haven't even heard this yet
before I came here. So I mean, I'm not a pro by any stretch, but I'm learning, and it's fun.
Yeah, Rob sent it to me at 6:30, almost 7.
I've been up all night listening to this.
It's like, hey, I just changed like all your vocals you did, but we'll see how it goes at the podcast.
He sends it to us and says, "I'm going to send this in for the podcast tonight.
So,
just have a listen." I'm already halfway here.
I mean, I can't listen. all of us are the same. We love to have the fresh stuff that hasn't been heard. You know, we always get me and Ryan get a big thrill when we get lots of world debut stuff here. So this is good because even the band hasn't heard it.
Yeah, there you go. And I guess for this song, the only thing I'd like to say, I mean, for me especially, this was the first one that we wrote bottom to top. So there was some songs that weren't recorded yet that, you know, Andrew and Jake and Rob already had the whole structure, and I kind of had to add my part to a product that was already there. But this was the first one we wrote bottom to top. And we normally play it electrically, but this is our acoustic version. So,
and I freaking love this song. So yeah, it's rocking.
All right, let's hear how it sounds.
Here we go. Sound is People, Redline at barbershoppodcast.com.
Behind the green light, stroll unnoticed, closing 10 but doors behind, releasing our rest. The shackled metal will hit the ground. I'm taking notice that I'm caught between the lines, weaving through the minds. Sun ignition, sweat red line. Oh, the red line, red line. For the rear view in your review. Tires, yellow lines. Cannot hold the steady line. Cannot hold it steady. Pressing silence to the phone that rings inside closed hands. I'm moving slowly, like I'm dragging weights behind. I'm seeing my breath as I exhale these thoughts of mine. I'm taking notice that I'm caught between the lines, weaving through the lines. Sun ignition, sweat red line. Oh, the red line, red line. For the rear view in your review and leave the past behind. Weaving tires, yellow lines. Cannot hold the steady line. Cannot hold it steady. Be my some confined spark inside when I hide. Sun ignition, sweat red line. Oh, the red line, red line. For the rear view in your review and leave the past behind. Weaving tires, yellow lines. Cannot hold the steady line. Cannot hold it steady. Sun ignition, sweat red line. For the rear view in your review. For the review in your review. For the review in your review and leave the past behind.
barbershoppodcast.com. Smooth as silk around
Smooth as
here.
silk. We made it.
I tell you, it's all
good.
style.
We got wound up and listening to the tune. Yeah,
we were chair dancing. It was ugly.
We looked down at the CD player. I was like, "Oh shit, we have 10 seconds. Let's run."
A wonderful new. The CD player's new tonight, right, Ryan?
Yeah, the CD player. What was it? Oh, I wish I could remember the guy's name. We were going to give him a shout out. It's he's got a warehouse down down on the bay.
Sherman
down by the
North,
bay
way down in the
we'll give him a
industrial
shout
area.
out next week. But
I'll pull his business card out, but he had all these cases
I'll
for
see if
cheap. It's $20, no matter what size.
I'll
right?
see if I can
Coffee
find it and we'll throw
cases.
it out at the end of the show.
But there was gear, camera gear, and got a CD player, like a nice rack mount commercial one CD player, and tape deck. So it's
We'll
still
have
had
to
a
put
tape deck.
together
So the mixtape.
We'll put together
I'm bringing it back.
We'll put together a video tour of the studio tonight, and we'll post it on the page
There
so
you
people
go.
can see.
You get to see the magic.
Yeah.
And how much did I get that for, Ryan?
$20?
$20.
$15?
Yeah, that was like
It was
$1,000
cheap.
piece when it was new. Right?
It even says, I wish I could move my camera. It says professional right on it.
It's not amateur.
I'll put it. I'm going to put that on the Facebook page right now.
That's
if
how you know
anyone's
you got it.
watching.
Yeah,
It says
$20.
professional.
Yeah. That's great. Anyway, I'm really impressed with what you guys are doing, and I want you to do a little bit more of it live. And I'm going to squeeze at least 1 tune out of you, maybe 2 if you're up for it. But your chatter is interesting, but your music is sublime. So I want to have a little bit more of that.
Cool.
Now,
Yep.
Let's do it.
Let's do it now.
you get a chance to see Sound as People do it. They're going to be available in the GTA Golden Horseshoe area. Look at them for them at soundaspeople.com. And of course, the link's going to be here at barbershoppodcast.com on our website, where you can access all kinds of great music, independent music from people who give their life to create something that helps pretty well all of us. We take for granted music sometimes, but certainly not around here. All right, guys.
Well said. This one's called Free Yourself.
Adrenaline on my mind, the smell of sweat and the fear of heights, a risk to hold the price. It's cheap perfume, it's the lemon guide. Free yourself, I can't stop running the wheel. Clenched down, cold rails on either side. See from the edge of the knife, your breath is clouding the mirror. Separate this tether cord and dive. Base for control, people's blood to catch the light. I dream like self-pillow, tripping tracks throughout the night. Free yourself, I can't stop running the wheel. Hands clenched down, cold rails on either side. See from the edge of the knife, your breath is clouding the mirror. Separate this tether cord and dive. Close your eyes, run down that tunnel tonight. your eyes. Run down that Dalton Road tonight. Close your eyes. Run down that Dalton, run down that Dalton, run down that Dalton. Yourself into the world for good. Free yourself into the world for good. Forget tired eyes who sleep inside tonight. Warm gestures expire, but we're dreaming onward. Forget tired eyes who sleep inside. Do you hear? Warm gestures expire, but we're dreaming on outward.
Something like that. Sound is people here at barbershoppodcast.com. Guys, it was an incredible pleasure to have you in the studio, in the very first New Look studio broadcast. And although it was 3/4 of an hour late, god damn it, we got it together. And it looks good and it sounds good. And I'm really happy that someone who sounds so tight and so good, has such a good full sound, came in and gave us the test of our measure. And Ryan, kudos to you for having a soundboard that was all brand new and spanking, going to make everything easier, that just didn't work, and at the last second he had to throw the
have
old
a conversation with somebody.
Somebody sold him something.
Or maybe I just don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't work, so we said fuck it and put the old board back in.
Yeah,
so.
But we made it happen, and thanks, guys, for help making it happen tonight, coming out to the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Tell all your friends.
Thanks for the support.
Barbershoppodcast.com. Every week you're going to see some great independent music, something you should support, something you should follow. It's going to enrich your life. It certainly does mine each and every week. Thanks again, guys.
Yeah,
No problem. Thank you.